Welcome everyone to yet another edition of our Tuesday's Timely Torah Talks. We have a very special guest this week. We have our very dear friend, Rabbi Zecharia Wallerstein Shlita, a man that needs no introduction. Baruch Hashem, the Rabbi has been by Chazaq for many, many years. I think since the inception, more or less. And Baruch Hashem that has been at the big Chazaq events and the programs. And everyone knows that Rabbi Wallerstein is the founder of Or Nava, which is a huge women's Torah center, and many other great programs and a world-renowned lecturer and an author. Rabbi Wallerstein, welcome. How you doing?
Thank you. Amazing. Baruch Hashem. Amazing.
Baruch
Very
Hashem.
glad to be able to be here tonight. Almost Pesach.
That's
amazing.
right.
Amazing. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Thank you for your time. We know how busy Rabbi is. And we heard that Rabbi Baruch Hashem just had a refuah shalema. You just got COVID. I got it in the beginning in March. Everyone, my chaverim, everyone got it in the beginning. You just had it and Baruch Hashem recovered. How are you feeling? And what do we learn from COVID, Rabbi?
No, I had temperature for almost 2 weeks.
Wow.
Not very, very high, not 104, only about 101. And it threw my whole system so off. No strength, sweating at night, like really bad. Just no appetite. And it was only a little teeny bit of temperature. And I thank Hashem now all the time that I'm 98.6, not any higher. And I learned a very big lesson that your temperature could be a little bit off and your whole system. So now it's interesting. I say Ashiyotza. Everyone thinks that Ashiyotza is only for going to the bathroom, right? You come out of the bathroom, make Ashiyotza. But if you listen to what you're saying in Ashiyotza, it's not only going to the bathroom. It's any Nebuch people had blood clots from COVID and they passed away from the blood clots, and that's a pipe being blocked. It's not going to the bathroom pipe. So I started thinking about the whole Ashiyotza and Lifnei Chisei Chavedecha. And the interesting is Baruch Hashem Rofei Chol Basar U'Mafli Lasos. If you're not sick, what does that mean? Hashem heals everybody. But if I'm not sick, he's not healing me. So what does that bracha mean? Most people go to the bathroom, they come out, they're healthy. What it means is your body, there's so many things that could be going wrong all the time that God has to keep healing it.
Unbelievable.
I was like, yeah, I didn't get COVID till I was supposed to go for my vaccination, and then I got COVID. But just to drop off a little cell that you can't see. It's not the Russian, nuclear bombs coming to attack America. It's this little teeny. So very much, very thankful to Hashem. I am very makpid, and everyone should take this up, that every morning before I leave shul, I stand by the Arna Kodesh and I say, I want to thank Hashem that I could smell, that I could taste, that I could hear, that I could see, and that I could feel. All 5 senses.
Thank you, Hashem.
Thank you, Hashem. Exactly. So when I got COVID, the first 2 days, I couldn't smell and I couldn't taste, and I really panicked. I went downstairs. I tried to summon nothing. I went upstairs. I took rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol, smelled the bottle.
That's right.
Nothing.
Wow.
I was like,
oh
my wife made me tea. Nothing. I said, hold on, Hashem. I thank you every day for being able to smell and taste. Come on, give me a break. And 2 days after I got COVID, I got it all back.
Unreal.
So I was like, thank you, Hashem, and I'm thanking you, Hashem, but I thanked you before COVID. So yeah, we have to thank Hashem every day that
even more so now
that our all 5 senses work. Because I know people that have it a year ago and they still can't taste and they can't smell, and everything tastes like cardboard. Coffee tastes like nothing. I can't even imagine that. So yeah, I think what you learn from this whole thing is really more appreciation, but for things that you thought were so natural that you just didn't appreciate. So yeah, I'm very happy. My fever broke. And the minute my fever broke, getting a little nervous after 2 weeks of fever. The doctor was getting nervous too. When my fever broke, I was like, thank you, Hashem, that I'm 98.6. I never said that in my life. Thank you, Hashem, that I'm 98.6. I'm like, thank you, Hashem, I'm 98.6. Not lower, not higher.
Baruch Hashem, Chaz Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. It's definitely a very, very big lesson. We have to appreciate what we have, and unfortunately, people only realize and appreciate what they have once they lose it. So let's appreciate everything that we have, the health and the happiness and the family and everything, all the goods that we have. So Wallerstein, we're right before Pesach. It's the pre-Pesach Timely Tuesday Torah Talk. And the simple question is, Rabbi, what's your favorite part of Pesach? What's your favorite part of Passover, Rabbi?
My favorite part of Pesach is the Seder.
The Seder, okay.
Yeah,
Why
definitely not cleaning the cars. That's not my favorite part of Seder. I like to shop. I'm a big shopper.
Really?
Yeah, I've always been a big shopper. When I was 16 years old, I wanted to get a license. I lived in Muncie, and sort of made a deal with my parents that if they let me get a license, I'll do all the shopping. That was already at 16. So I started shopping when I was 16, and my mother didn't need me to shop, but I loved it. And I'm now much older than that. And my wife doesn't need me to shop, but every single Friday, I spend my whole Friday shopping because I go to one store for this, one for that. And one of my favorite stores is the flower store. I buy the flowers for the house.
Wow.
I also buy the flowers actually for my high school, BCA. So when we opened 12 years ago, the girls were not keeping Shabbos. They were very disconnected. Also, they did not have relationships with their parents at all. And I wanted to give them some type of Friday. I knew they weren't keeping Shabbos. Some type of feeling for Shabbos. My father, Oliver Shalom, my whole life since I remember, always brought home flowers for Shabbos. It's very in today. 60 years ago, it was not in. People didn't do it. But he always came home with 2 brachas, 2 flowers that had a rose, which is a beret atse b'samim because it has thorns and it has a heart. And then he would buy a flower that smelled that was beret iste b'samim. So we always made 2 brachas, and he always brought it home. So it was just something that, what your father does, you do. And and he bought the flowers. So I go every Friday to buy the flowers for my school. And every girl in my high school, it's now 12 years, I don't miss,
wow,
gets a single wrapped rose. 1 week it's purple, 1 week it's white, 1 week it's red, yellow. And I give them this rose, and I'm like, take it home to your mother for Shabbos. So at the same time, we make a relationship with Shabbos, we make a relationship with the parents, and I also buy a 9x13 pan of cholent. You never believe it, they wipe it out. Girls, they wipe out that cholent. So when I go to
your favorite part is shopping or the Seder, Rabbi Wallerstein?
No, so I'm getting to the Seder. So there's 2 things. It's the shopping and buying, for Pesach and being part of it. And when I buy the onions and the potatoes and everything else, I say I am buying this for the Pesach, for the Seder. I went and bought matzah for the Seder because it says if you say that, then the food has a special neshama, special
L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh.
Right. So this is L'kavod Shabbos, L'kavod Yantiv, L'kavod Pesach. So that's part of it. But the Seder itself, to sit there with my children and my grandchildren, from the day I got married till the day my father passed away, which was about, I would say, 40 years, that he made always the Seder. The Seder, I always went to him. I didn't go to, my deal was, I go to him, my in-laws, I went other Yom Tovim, but the Seder had to be by my father. It was till 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
We never rushed it. We never got finished before 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Dvar Torahs, everything, and the beauty of sitting around, looking at your family and talking about your Mitzrayim. Not only about Yetzias Mitzrayim, but your Mitzrayim, your addiction, the stuff that you couldn't get out of, the stuff that you changed. The Jews, when they left Mitzrayim, they had this slavery type of attitude. They wanted to keep going back. And like, what am I a slave to? Am I a slave to my music? Am I a slave to my movies? Am I a slave to, what am I a slave to? How did I break out? Do I miss it? Do I want to go back? And everybody would talk about, their challenges that year. Amazing, amazing. So for me, the Seder is very, 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 very special and very appreciative to be able to sit at a table and listen to my grandchildren and my children, say Torah, and I say Torah. It's the Seder, even by the irreligious and the non-religious at all, Reform even. There's 2 things: Yom Kippur, that they try to keep the way they keep, and they won't eat, and the Seder. The Seder is always in the irreligious. There was a movie called The 10 Commandments that they watch on the Seder night. I try to tell the kids I was teaching, like, no. Moses did not look like Charlton Heston, and the mountain didn't look like that, and Cleopatra definitely had nothing to do with it. So I try to talk them out of it, but they want to have some kind of connection to, to a Seder. So to me, it's just an amazing time for family. It's family. And I love it. I love it. I look forward to it big time.
It's amazing. That's great to always be together with family. Unfortunately, the Goyim only have once a year. Thanksgiving, Chazak Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Thank God, us Yidden Jews, we have Shabbos every single week and so many holidays in Yom Tovim. Baruch Hashem. Rabbi, just last year during the Pesach Seder, we were all in lockdown, quarantine, and we weren't able to go to other people's houses. Baruch Hashem, this year we're quote unquote a little bit more freedom. What lessons could we learn from last year compared to this year, which is a little bit, again, it's not fully where we could go a lot of Pesach programs are closed this year. Anything we could learn from
a lot of Pesach programs are also open this year.
Oh yeah, okay, that's great.
Yeah. There are. I was told there are 100,000 Jews going to Orlando into all those homes. 100,000 Jews,
but not to a program, to the homes.
To these homes, but in these homes, they're private chefs and they're bringing food. And some of them, it's amazing.
Is Ornava doing the program this year? I know you guys. Do.
My program is with my family this year, which I really appreciate, because when Ornava did the program, I really didn't get to the Seder till 2:00, because I went to every single Seder in the program and brought the kids frogs and puppets and Muppets. And so Baruch Hashem, I could do that with my kids this year. I'm really looking forward. Really, really, really looking forward. I think that it's very interesting because last year was lockdown.
Yeah.
Mitzrayim was also locked down.
Ooh.
On the night of Pesach, you were not allowed to go outside. You had to stay inside with the door closed and have the blood on the inside of the door to remember the Korban Pesach. But the real Pesach, total lockdown.
Interesting.
Total lockdown. So we would like to have a Pesach this year in Eretz Yisrael with the Korban Pesach with no lockdown whatsoever. But we do have to appreciate that they were not totally locked down, and thank Hashem. Like you're right, we took for granted, until last year. Well, anybody can come. Whoever wants to come can come. And also last year, we lost a lot of people this year, a lot of good people, a lot of tzaddikim, and you're sitting at your Seder and they're not. They're in Shemayim. I don't know if they have a Seder in Shemayim. I'm not sure, but they're not getting the mitzvah of leaning and drinking 4 kosos and eating matzah. And you have a chance to do that this year. You got to thank Hashem that Baruch Hashem, you have a chance to sit at the Seder. It's amazing. It's exciting and it's amazing.
Baruch Hashem.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're all looking forward. It's Hashem. We should be. We should see the Geula as well. Rabbi, any memorable Pesachs that come to mind? Something that sticks out with the Pesach Seders? Maybe something in your programs.
I'd like to tell you a story. Nothing to do with my program. Let me tell you a story. My father's Seder, probably. I'm 63, so we're going back.
Oh wow, Rabbi's that young.
Baruch Hashem. We're going back. Married 40 years.
Wow.
Okay, we're going back 40 years. So I lived in Muncie. This is very important for everyone. So my father always wanted to do something special for Pesach. We had blue old carpet in the house. He decided for that Pesach that my parents went out and they bought this gorgeous white wall-to-wall carpet, and he made sure that it was installed. Okay. We had a family over for the first Seder night. We had a family over. They were like just Balchuvas, and I was teaching the son a little bit about Torah, whatever it was. And my father loved to have people over. And we invited them over for the Seder. They never saw my father's Seder. Went till 4:00, and it was just a gorgeous table. Whatever, it was amazing.
Your father, a rabbi like you, Rabbi?
Nope, businessman, regular businessman. So this is a true story. We're sitting at the table, and the kid, the young 13-year-old kid that I was teaching, by accident knocked over his glass of wine
on the white carpet.
On the white carpet. But I'm not talking about a little glass. I'm talking about a cup of wine all over the white carpet. My mother was going to freak out. I mean, you're talking about wine stain on a white carpet. And my father says, not a problem. 10 minutes later, the Eliyahu Navi cup, which is 5 times the size, my father leans over to get Haggadah, and he knocks, and that whole cup spills on the floor. So he tells, his name was Avrami, he says, Avrami, you see, if you wouldn't have done it, I would have done it. So it doesn't make a difference. When we clean my stain, we'll clean your stain. And he made them feel like nothing happened.
He purposely
knocked it over.
Purposely.
Yeah.
Wow, what a lesson.
In the middle of the table. It wasn't near him.
Lesson.
So that was, to me, chinuch. He wasn't a rabbi, he wasn't a rebbe, but the chinuch I saw there, and these people were so nervous because the white carpet, the new carpet, the Wallerstein, whatever it is. And my father said to the kid, he said, okay, if you wouldn't have done it, I would have to have the guy come anyway. So he'll clean yours, he'll clean mine. And we had them to Siddharam for many years after that. Yeah. So he wasn't a rabbi, but he was my rebbe. Amazing.
Unbelievable lesson. Right. Unreal.
So I don't have anything on a Pesach program that even comes close to that.
I remember Rabbi Wallerstein, you were recently, Baruch Hashem, you gave an in-person shir in by Chazaq, and you said something very interesting over about how every single person should set up the Pesach table. Can you just reiterate that point? I remember that was very powerful.
It says in the Kav Yasha that you should not have a non-Jew set your table because Hashem's coming to the Seder. So the table should be set by a Jew, by a young girl, a whole thing. But when I went to my Pesach program, the waitresses were Spanish, whatever. They weren't. We didn't hire Jewish waitresses. I came to the table and I'm like, I'm the one who taught this. Like, the whole table is set. So he took all the dishes off and all the glasses off, put it on a chair, straightened out the thing, and then reset the table.
Amazing.
So yeah, we used to do that. I mean, we had some amazing. I also had a very program that nobody had. And, this is an interesting thing that this is something you should hear. Listen to this. This is amazing. Hashem's sending me this message. You have to hear this. My father had a minhag, to make the maror. So you have romaine lettuce, but we eat that white horseradish that you have, right? So you could buy it. You could buy it ready-made. In those days, you really couldn't buy it ready-made, but now you can buy it ready. I want to tell you, there's a store in Borough Park that sells ready-made. You ready, everybody? Salt water. It's 99 cents. I saw it today. A jar says salt water, 99 cents. People are so lazy, they can't even take water and put salt in it. I'm like, oh my gosh,
everything's ready.
Everything's pre-made. Anyway, so my father's minhag, maybe with the Yekish, I don't know where it came from, is that we made the maror, we grinded the maror with our own hands with one of those metal grinders, very hard to do, right before the Seder, so the white horseradish would be so hot. So feel it fresh. It would be so hot you'd feel it. So when we used to sit there as kids, and this is beautiful, as we used to grind it, it goes into your nose and it makes you cry. You can't even control it. It makes you cry. And it was like a whole game. We put like washcloths on our face. It was like, I got some Isa, and I don't have a Seder. My grandchildren, my children, everybody has to take a turn and grind. Everybody. The littlest kid, everybody. Why? My father used to say that when you do this and you're crying, say a prayer to God. And the prayer to God is, if I have to cry this year, tears of pain, these should be the only tears I cry.
Wow.
Every single Pesach Seder night, I said that prayer. And my grandchildren and my children, we make it. And the little kid's like, hey. I'm like, say, Hashem, if I have to cry in tears this year, this should be the only time I cry. So whoever's listening,
do it. 100%. That's amazing, Rabbi. Unbelievable. I never heard of that. And so many lessons we're learning from this Torah talk, Rabbi. Unbelievable. Let's end off with one final message, Rabbi Wallerstein, you can give to our audience, whether it's a story, whether it's inspirational insight, something about Pesach for us to take home. There's so many gems that we've already heard. One final one, Rabbi.
Okay, so this one is an extremely important message for everyone, especially after a year like this. So this is the Jewish law and the code of law. And the Shulchan Aruch says the charoses, that's how you say it. How do you
Charoset.
spell it? Charoset, right? Is made from apples and sweet red wine. I think Sephardim use dates, maybe. We use cinnamon, apple, wine, sweet wine. Now, what is charosis in memory of? It's in memory of the bricks, right? It's made like a brick. Sometimes it tastes like a brick, but it's made like a brick. I don't know if you get that tells a thing that comes in a box. They collect tzedakah. It's a brick. It tastes like a brick. But anyway, so they used to take when the Jews didn't have enough bricks, they used to take, if they didn't fill up the amount that they needed to do, they took a Jewish baby and they stuck him in the wall instead of the brick, and the baby would die in the wall, and then the Jews would have to cement it. We can't even imagine. The Nazis didn't even do that. It's like you can't even imagine taking a baby and making them into a brick.
Funny that we should never know.
Beyond anything you can understand. Ask the rabbis, if it's in memory of such a terrible thing, why is it sweet? It should be made with vinegar. And the Shulchan Aruch says it should be made with sweet wine, red wine, to remind you of the blood of the children. That's why red wine, the Shulchan Aruch says. So that should be sweet. It should be the most bitter thing in the world. And you take your marar, which is bitter, which is in memory of getting whipped and beaten, and you dip it into the charosis to make it sweet. The charosis is worse than the marar. That was okay. We were slaves. There were other people in America that were slaves. It's bad. Don't get me wrong, but you're dipping it into baby's blood to make the marar better? It makes the marar worse. Here's the message, everyone. Listen carefully. So the answer is a medrash, a fascinating medrash. When the Mitzrim came, when the Jews were caught and they were going into Kriyas Yamsuf, and the Mitzrim were behind them, so the angels of the Mitzrim said, they did avodah zarah, the Jews did avodah zarah. Why are they any better than the other ones? And the angels of the Jews said, well, they used to take kids and throw Jewish kids into the Yam Suf. And therefore, when the Jews went through and the Egyptians were in it, they said, now you have to do midah keneged midah. I don't know how you say that in English, but midah keneged midah. They drowned Jewish kids. God, now you have to drown them. Right? You get what you did. So listen to this. The angels of the Mitzvah, they're angels, they know how to learn, said that the law is that if a king, there are three things you're not allowed to do. You have to, if someone says kill someone, you're not allowed to kill them. If someone says bow down to avodah zarah, you're not allowed to commit adultery, you can't do them. But the Shulchan Aruch says, if you do them, let's say they put a gun to you and say, kill this kid, and you kill them, you're not chayav misa, because you're an ones, you were forced. So you should have given up your life, but if you don't get punished. So the Mitzrim said to Hashem, you can't punish the Egyptians. The king told them to throw the children into the Nile. If you don't listen to the king, it's death. So they were forced, ba'ones, to kill the kids. And therefore, according to your Jewish law, they're patur. You can't. So therefore, you cannot kill the Egyptians. And God turned to the Malach Michael and said, they're right. What do you have to say? So the Medrash says he flew down to Mitzrayim, took a baby out of the wall, a dead baby out of the wall, and came back to Shemayim and threw the body of the baby at God's feet. And God said, what is this? And Michal said, the Egyptians put these babies in the wall, but Paro, if you look in the Torah, Paro never told them to do that. Paro said, throw the kids in the water, but he never told them if there's not enough bricks, put kids in the wall. That was the Mitzrim, which shot him. So Hashem said, and what do you have to answer for that? And the Mitzrim had no answer. So he said, Kalein, finish them now. And that's when all the water killed them. So even though it was terrible that these children were in the wall, because of the children in the wall, the Egyptians were wiped out. What do we learn from this? That sometimes things that look very bad is really very good for you. So take the maror, which is bitter, your life that you're going through, whatever you're going through, which is bitter, and dip it in the charoses and learn from the charoses that even though it was very bad, it was very sweet because it saved the Jews. And therefore, your bitterness will become sweeter. And therefore, take your maror and dip it in the charoses and understand that what looks bad to you is really good. And that will help you get through your maror.
Hakol tova, everything for the best. Oh, wow.
That's the lesson.
Unbelievable lesson. Even though there's so much craziness and so much problems and so much bad going on in the world, we have to look.
It's for our good. A man came to me this morning. I'll end with this. A man came just so you don't, people really don't, he said there was a leaf on a tree. And the leaf was watching all the leaves in the fall. All the leaves were flying on the floor, flying, going up, flying down. And it was like very jealous. I'm stuck to this tree. I can't do nothing. I can't roll. I can't fly in the wind. And he was so upset and he was crying to Hashem. I'm stuck on this tree and everybody's partying and all the other leaves are flying. Oh, I can't take it. And then at the end of the fall, before the winter, the leaf disconnects from the tree. And it's like, I'm floating. I'm partying. I'm dead because I'm disconnected from my life source. So, Eitz Chaim Hila Machazikim ba, everybody. To those who hold on to the tree, you're alive. Don't look at everything that's going on in the world. The movies, the parties, the gayer, everyone's partying and dancing and everyone's having a good time. And you're like, I don't want to go to yeshiva. I don't want to be tied down, go to shul. I want to go to public school. I want to smoke up. I want to party. I want to be all over the place. Yeah. But as long as you're connected to the tree, as long as you're connected to Chazaq, as long as you're connected to Torah, you're alive.
Rabbi, true freedom, Torah, Eitz Chaim. Beautiful, Rabbi Wallerstein.
What is freedom, Rabbi? Freedom in America, everyone thinks freedom is
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. Yes, 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 yes. What's the one word a slave can never say? No. When you tell a slave, pick that up. Yes, sir. Clean that up. Yes, sir. If he says no, he's dead.
That's true.
So what's freedom? Freedom is the ability to say no. A slave always says yes. Freedom is the ability to say no. That's a person who's free. No, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not following this. No, I can say no. That's freedom. So when you sit by the Seder, everybody, and you're talking about your Yetzias Mitzrayim, pick something in your life that is an addiction or something that you just always say yes to, which is not good for you, and be able to say no so that next year you could say, last year I was in Eved, we say in the Haggadah, the Shana Haba b'nei Chayrim. Free. I said no.
Wow. Free. Rabbi Wallerstein.
Thank you.
Freedom and true freedom. Unbelievable. Yeshakach, Chazaq, Baruch for the inspiration. Powerful, powerful words. As usual, we want to thank you, Rabbi, for all that you do for Klal Yisrael, for the Jewish people. You should have a Chag Kasher v'Sameach. Continue to Hatzlacha, Rifu Ashtima, complete 100% recovery. And Bezat Hashem, we should be Zocheh. We should merit seeing each other in Eretz Yisrael with the Geulah Shlema, with the complete redemption, speeding our days. Amen, amen. Thank you very much, everyone.
Chag Sameach, everybody.
Pesach. Happy Pesach, everyone.
Happy Pesach. Sweet Pesach.